You came home today and you didn't lift anything heavy. You didn't run anywhere. You sat in a chair, looked at a screen, answered some emails, sat in 2 meetings where you barely spoke, and yet you are wrecked. Not a little tired. Wrecked. Lying on the floor unable to cook dinner tired. That's not burnout from overwork. That's something else. And once you see it, you can't unsee it in your own job. There's a name for this in psychology, and it explains why some 9 to 5s feel harder than physical labor. I'm going to show you the actual mechanism behind it, why it's gotten worse over the last decade specifically, and the one thing almost everyone gets wrong about fixing it, which actually makes it worse. Stick around for that part, because it's probably what you're doing right now. The meeting where you said 4 words the whole time, but spent the entire hour reading the room, watching faces, tracking who seemed annoyed, deciding when it was safe to speak. The Slack message you rewrote 6 times before sending, because tone matters more than the words. Too short, and you seem cold. Too many exclamation points, and you seem fake. You landed on something in between, and it still took 4 minutes for 1 sentence. The moment at 3 p.m. where you have 0 physical fatigue but cannot form a sentence, cannot remember what you were about to type, and find yourself rereading the same paragraph 5 times. The performance review where you had to sound constructive about feedback that actually made you angry, and spent the whole conversation managing your face instead of your words. The customer or client call where you smiled through something frustrating, hung up, and felt your jaw ache from how hard you'd been holding an expression. None of that shows up on a to-do list. None of it looks like work from the outside. If someone watched you all day, it would look like you did almost nothing. But your brain doesn't clock hours, it clocks decisions. And by that measure, you did an enormous amount of work today. There are 2 real, well-documented mechanisms behind this, and once you see them separately, you'll start noticing them everywhere in your own day. The first is decision fatigue. Willpower and decision-making quality draw from the same limited daily resource. It doesn't matter if the decision is big, should I take this job, or tiny, should this email start with hi or hey. Your brain doesn't have a separate tank for small decisions. It's the same tank. Researchers studying judges found something remarkable. The odds of a favorable ruling were highest right after a break, and steadily dropped the longer the judge went without one. Not because the cases changed, but because the decision-maker's resources did. If it happens to judges making life-altering rulings, it's absolutely happening to you deciding how to phrase your 9th Slack message of the day. The second is emotional labor, a term coined by sociologist Arlie Hochschild, originally studying flight attendants, of all professions. It's the unpaid, invisible work of managing your face, tone, and reactions to match what your job requires, regardless of what you actually feel underneath. A flight attendant smiling through turbulence and rude passengers. A nurse staying calm and warm on hour 11 of a shift. And now, almost everyone in an office job, managing tone in emails, projecting calm in meetings, absorbing a manager's bad mood without reacting to it. Here's the part that makes this worse than it sounds. Emotional labor isn't just being nice. It's the gap between what you feel and what you display, and your brain has to actively work to maintain that gap all day. The bigger the gap, the more you're faking calm over actual frustration, or faking enthusiasm over actual boredom, the more expensive it is. Combined decision fatigue and emotional labor in a quiet, desk job can cost more mental fuel by 5 p.m. than an actual day of physical labor, because physical labor ends the moment your body stops moving. This kind of labor doesn't have an off switch. You're still doing it in the shower, replaying the meeting, rehearsing what you should have said. This isn't just work is hard. Something specific changed. 20 years ago, most jobs had built-in recovery moments. Walking between offices, a commute with no phone signal, a lunch where nobody could message you. Those weren't wasted time. They were unscheduled recovery for exactly the 2 resources we just talked about, your decision reserve and your emotional labor reserve. Modern work removed almost all of it. Slack, email, and open calendars mean there's no walk between meetings anymore. You go from one decision and performance environment straight into the next, sometimes with 0 seconds between them. And remote work, which looked like it should have made this better, often made the boundary worse. No commute to mark, work face, ending, and home face starting. The emotional labor just followed you into your kitchen. So it's not that you're less resilient than people used to be. It's that the recovery windows built into the structure of a workday have quietly disappeared, and nobody replaced them with anything. Quick, before I show you the part almost everyone gets wrong. If you felt this and thought it was just you being weak or not cut out for this job, it's not that. Comment the job title where you feel this the hardest. I read every single one, and I'm building a follow-up video specifically around the ones that come up most. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes. When people feel this kind of tired, they try to fix it like physical tiredness: more sleep, a slower weekend, a day off. But decision fatigue and emotional labor don't recover on the same schedule as muscle fatigue. You can sleep 9 hours and still open your laptop Monday morning already running on empty, because the thing that's depleted isn't your body. What actually helps is reducing the number of invisible decisions, not the number of hours worked. A few concrete versions of this: templating recurring communication, status updates, common client replies. You have to give co-workers a few times a month, so you're not redeciding tone from scratch every single time. Deciding your meeting persona once in advance, instead of recalibrating it live in every room. Walking in already knowing. Today I'm the person who asks clarifying questions, removes dozens of tiny, in-the-moment social decisions. Batching similar decisions instead of spacing them through the day. Switching between different types of decisions, a creative choice, then an interpersonal one, then a technical one, back to back, drains you faster than making several decisions of the same type in a row. If you can group your people decisions into one block and your technical decisions into another, you protect the shared reserve those systems draw from. Try this for one day. Pick the single recurring decision that costs you the most: how you phrase status updates, how you say no to a coworker, how you open a client email, and pre-decide it before the day starts. Once in writing. You're not doing less work. You're doing the same work with far fewer live decisions, which is the actual thing that was draining you. This also explains something bigger than any one workday: why quiet quitting isn't laziness, and why it got so much traction as an idea. A lot of what people started doing when they quiet quit wasn't doing less actual output, it was cutting the invisible layer. Refusing to perform enthusiasm they didn't feel. Declining to manage everyone else's mood in a meeting. Stopping the constant tone management in every message. From the outside it looked like doing less. From the inside, it was often just refusing to keep paying an invisible tax nobody ever acknowledged was being charged. And it explains why remote work messed with people in ways almost nobody predicted going in. Fewer physical boundaries between work face and home face meant the emotional labor never actually clocked out. It just relocated to your kitchen table. So next time you're on that couch, groceries still in the bag, too fried to even explain why, you're not broken, and you didn't do nothing today. You did dozens of invisible decisions and held up an invisible performance for 8 hours straight. And that's real work, even though nothing about it would show up on a resume. Your brain just never got the memo that it's allowed to log it as work. If this explains something you felt but never had words for, subscribe. I'm making one of these every week on the psychology of modern work. And drop that job title in the comments. I mean it. I'm using them for the next video.